Hello and welcome back to the English Podcast Lab. I'm Mike, and today we're diving deep into building a growth mindset. I'm super excited about this one. It's all about how we can rewire our thinking to unlock potential and, embrace challenges. And to guide us through this fascinating topic, we've got mindset and personal development expert Sarah.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Always happy to talk about mindset.
I think we've all been there. You see some people just crushing it in life, right? Mm-hmm. While others seem to struggle even when they're putting in a ton of effort. Makes you wonder, what's that secret ingredient? What sets these individuals apart?
Well, it's a question that's really kept researchers busy for decades. And what they're finding is that a big part of it boils down to mindset. The difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset, psychologist Carol Dweck really, kind of pioneered this whole field. And her work shows that intelligence and abilities, they're not fixed. Yeah. They can actually be developed and expanded with effort, the right strategies, and a little guidance.
So it's not just about being born brilliant. So walk me through this. Does this mean anyone can basically get better at anything with enough practice and effort if they have a growth mindset?
That's the core idea. Someone with a growth mindset sees challenges not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn and stretch their abilities. Like imagine you hit a wall at work. Instead of thinking, I'm just not good at this, someone with a growth mindset would frame it as, I'm not good at this yet. Subtle shift in language. Huge shift in perspective.
I love that yet. It's like leaving the door open to possibility instead of slamming it shut. Mm-hmm. So that's the growth mindset. What's the flip side? What does the fixed mindset look like?
Well, in a fixed mindset, people believe their abilities are pretty much predetermined. Like they might say, I'm just not a math person, or I'm not creative, it's just not in my genes. But this kind of thinking can really hold you back. It can lead to a fear of failure, reluctance to try new things, and ultimately, missed opportunities for growth.
It's starting to click for me now why this is such a powerful concept. It's not just about acing school or climbing the corporate ladder. It's about how we approach life in general, right?
Yeah.
But let's be real, Sarah. Is having a growth mindset some magic wand that guarantees success?
It's not a magic bullet. No. But it's kind of like having a superpower you can train. While a growth mindset alone won't guarantee results, it can definitely increase your chances of achieving those goals and having more satisfaction along the way, especially when it's combined with a real desire to improve, genuine effort, and a commitment to keep going even when things get tough.
That makes me think of resilience, people who bounce back from setbacks. They seem to have this inherent belief that they can adapt and learn from even the toughest experiences.
You got it. Resilience and a growth mindset. They're two sides of the same coin. When you don't take failure personally, but instead view it as valuable feedback, you're way more likely to pick yourself up, learn from those mistakes, and come back stronger.
So effort is a big theme here. It's not just about thinking positive thoughts. It's about putting in the work.
Absolutely. People with a growth mindset understand that mastery takes time, dedicated effort, and sometimes even a bit of struggle, but they're not afraid of hard work because they see it as part of the learning journey. It's about progress, not perfection.
So continuous learning and curiosity are those key ingredients in this growth mindset recipe.
You nailed it. A growth mindset thrives on curiosity, that hunger to learn new things. People with this mindset are always searching for new information, skills, experiences. They're willing to step outside their comfort zones because they know learning never truly stops. Every piece of knowledge, every new skill, it just adds another tool to their belt.
So it's not just about how we see ourselves and our potential. It's also about how we interact with the world, how we soak up knowledge from others, and how we handle feedback. Am I right?
You're picking up what I'm putting down, like individuals with a growth mindset. They're more likely to actively seek out constructive feedback. They see it not as a personal attack, but as a roadmap for improvement. They understand that we all have blind spots, and they welcome those insights that help them grow and evolve.
So they're not just sitting back waiting for feedback. They're actively pursuing it and using it to get better.
Exactly. And another thing about growth-minded people is they really value surrounding themselves with the right kind of people. They build a support network for their development, surrounding themselves with others who can offer guidance and insights.
It's like creating a whole ecosystem of growth. You're feeding off each other's energy, supporting each other, learning from each other's experiences, inspiring each other to reach new heights.
Precisely. And we can learn so much from watching how others handle the ups and downs of life, especially those who do it gracefully and with resilience, harnessing that collective wisdom, applying it to our own paths.
Speaking of learning from others, one thing I've noticed about growth-minded individuals is that they don't just tolerate the success of others. They genuinely celebrate it. They don't see it as a threat. They're inspired by it.
You're right. A growth mindset fosters a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Instead of seeing others' success as taking away from their own, they see it as proof that growth and success are possible for anyone, including themselves. They use those achievements as fuel for their own journey. It's about learning and growing together.
This has been so insightful, Sarah. But I bet our listeners are thinking, okay, this all sounds great, but how do I actually develop a growth mindset myself? How do we actually shift our thinking and embrace this approach to life?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one we're going to dig into right after a quick word from our sponsors. Stick around. We'll be back in a flash.
And we're back. All right, Sarah, before the break, we were getting into the how-to of building a growth mindset. It's one thing to understand it, but how do we put it into practice in our daily lives?
Yeah, that's where the rubber meets the road, right? Going from theory to action. And the good news is, it's a journey anyone can take. It's all about small steps, consistency, and patience.
Okay, so where do we begin? What's step one in our growth mindset makeover?
Well, first, you got to become aware. Become a detective of your own thoughts and beliefs. Especially when you're facing challenges or setbacks, pay attention to that voice in your head. Notice when you're thinking things like, I'm not good enough, I'm going to fail, or this is just too hard. That's the fixed mindset creeping in.
So we're basically spying on our own minds, trying to catch those fixed mindset patterns in action.
Exactly. Once you've identified those thought patterns, you can start to challenge them. And this is where that magic word yet comes in handy. Instead of saying, I'm not good at this, try saying, I'm not good at this yet. It's a tiny change in language, but it can have a huge impact on your whole outlook.
It's like opening up the possibilities instead of letting those limiting beliefs box you in. Okay, so we're tuning into our thoughts. We're challenging those fixed mindset gremlins. What's next in our growth mindset toolkit?
From there, we can start reframing our experiences. Instead of seeing challenges as threats or proof that we're not good enough, we can start to see them as opportunities for growth and development. It might feel weird at first, but with practice, it becomes more natural.
This goes back to that idea of embracing failure as a learning opportunity. Right? Instead of letting it stop us in our tracks, we use it as fuel.
Absolutely. When we reframe failure as valuable feedback, it doesn't sting as much. It becomes a chance to analyze what happened, figure out what we can do differently next time, and approach the challenge from a new angle. And remember, setbacks, they're going to happen. They're part of learning. The key is not letting them define you.
It always comes back to effort, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's about being willing to put in the work even when it's tough, knowing that real growth takes time and dedication. There's no quick fix, but the rewards are worth it.
I couldn't agree more. And here's a little secret. When you approach challenges with a growth mindset, the effort itself becomes more enjoyable. You're not just grinding through something you hate. You're actively learning and expanding your abilities.
I see what you mean. It's like the difference between forcing yourself to exercise and finding an activity you actually love. The effort feels different when you're genuinely interested. But I think it's important to remember that building a growth mindset isn't a solo mission. It's also about how we interact with others and learn from their experiences.
Right. You're absolutely right, Mike. One of the most powerful things you can do to develop a growth mindset is to surround yourself with other growth-minded people. Find mentors, coaches, or colleagues who embody this mindset. People who are curious, open to feedback, and always trying to learn and grow. Their energy is contagious.
Like building a growth mindset support system. You're all lifting each other up, sharing insights, inspiring each other to achieve more.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of observation. Pay attention to how people with a growth mindset tackle challenges, handle setbacks, and celebrate successes, both their own and others. There's so much wisdom you can gain just by watching and learning.
That's a great point. We can learn so much from seeing how others handle the ups and downs, especially those who seem to do it effortlessly. It's like having a front row seat to their growth journey.
And another powerful tool is being proactive about getting feedback. Don't wait for it to come to you. Ask for it from people you trust.
I imagine that can be a little scary for some people, especially if they're used to associating feedback with criticism or feeling judged.
It's true. Feedback can be tough to hear, but remember, it's not about putting you down. It's about helping you grow and become your best self. People with a growth mindset understand that feedback, even when it's not all positive, is a golden opportunity to identify blind spots in areas where they can improve. It's all about perspective.
So it's about being open to feedback even when it's challenging. Instead of getting defensive, we use it as fuel for growth. We're not just receiving it, we're actively seeking it out and using it to improve.
Right. And remember, feedback is most valuable when it comes from a place of trust and respect. Choose your sources wisely and be open to what they have to say, even if it's not what you want to hear. It's about separating the message from the messenger and focusing on the insights that can help you grow.
This brings us back to something we talked about earlier, celebrating the success of others. How does that fit into building a growth mindset?
Celebrating others' achievements instead of feeling threatened by them is a true sign of a growth mindset. When you see someone else succeeding instead of thinking, why not me? Try asking yourself, what can I learn from their experience? Their success can inspire and motivate you, not make you feel envious or discouraged.
So we're moving from a scarcity mindset where we think there's only so much success to go around, to an abundance mindset where we recognize that success is possible for everyone who puts in the effort.
That's it. And remember, every success story, no matter how big or small, is built on effort, resilience, and a willingness to learn and grow. By embracing a growth mindset, you can tap into that power and create your own success story.
This is really inspiring, Sarah. I'm already feeling motivated to start using some of these tools.
Yeah.
But before we wrap up, I think it's important to acknowledge that building a growth mindset is an ongoing process. It's not something you achieve overnight and then you're done. It takes consistent effort and self-reflection.
You're exactly right. It's a lifelong journey, not a destination. It's not about reaching some perfect state of mind. It's about embracing the process of learning, growing, and evolving.
So it's not about being perfect.
Yeah.
It's about progress,
Mm-hmm.
right? Acknowledging that we'll have setbacks, we'll make mistakes, but we can learn from them and keep moving forward.
Exactly. The key is to be patient with yourself. Recognize those moments when you're falling back into old ways of thinking, and gently guide yourself back to a growth-oriented perspective.
So what's one thing our listeners can do today to start cultivating a growth mindset? What's a simple action step they can take right now to get started?
If I had to pick just one, I'd say start by setting a small, achievable goal that pushes you a little outside your comfort zone. It could be anything: learning a new skill, tackling a tough project at work, or even having a difficult conversation you've been avoiding. The point is to choose something that challenges you without being overwhelming.
And then approach that goal with the mindset we've been talking about. Embrace the challenge. See setbacks as valuable feedback, and celebrate every step of the way. It's about focusing on the process, not just the result.
Precisely. And don't hesitate to ask for help along the way. Surround yourself with people who believe in your ability to grow. And remember to acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Every step forward is a win.
This has been an amazing conversation, Sarah. I think our listeners have gained a lot of valuable tools and strategies for building a growth mindset and reaching their full potential. Thank you so much for being here today and sharing your expertise.
It's been my pleasure, Mike. I'm always happy to talk about the power of mindset, and I hope our listeners will embrace this journey of growth with enthusiasm, curiosity, and an open mind.
And to our amazing viewers, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts, experiences, and any aha moments you had during this deep dive in the comments below. And if you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more deep dives on fascinating topics that can help you grow and thrive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep embracing the power of a growth mindset.
Yeah, it's easy to get so focused on the end goal that we forget to enjoy the journey itself. You're reminding us that it's all about those little steps and celebrating those wins along the way.
You know, it really is. Those small wins are what keep us going and keep that desire to learn and grow burning. And it's important to remember, setbacks aren't failures. They're just chances to adjust and learn something valuable that helps us come back even stronger.
It's about changing our thinking from, I messed up, to, what can I learn from this? Exactly. That's the heart of a growth mindset. Embracing challenges, being persistent, and realizing that our abilities aren't set in stone, they're always evolving. And the best part, anyone can develop this mindset with a little effort and a willingness to embrace the journey.
This has been such an inspiring conversation, Sarah. Our listeners have gained a much deeper understanding of what a growth mindset is and how it can really change their lives. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights.
It's been a pleasure, Mike. I always love these kinds of discussions, and I hope our listeners feel empowered to take on this growth mindset in their own lives.
And to all of you watching, we want to hear from you. Share your thoughts, your experiences, any aha moments you had during this deep dive down in the comments. And if you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more deep dives on all sorts of fascinating topics that can help you grow and thrive. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep embracing that power of a growth mindset.